Coming out on a beautiful day in a beautiful town, and this is a great Chamber of Commerce day for Clear Lake, and really greatly appreciate you being here. I'll get a chance hopefully to go around and say hi to everybody, but just wanted to let you know I'm here. This is my 21st visit to Iowa. I believe in the Iowa caucuses, that the opportunity to get around, and I think this is my 23rd county or something I've been to, in getting around and meeting with folks and giving folks the opportunity to talk to the candidates, hear a little bit of my pitch, but also open myself up to questions and be accountable. I think you have a very important responsibility. This is the most important election, in my opinion, since the election of 1860. The election of 1860 was about whether these United States would become the United States. In this election, I believe that the foundational principle of what makes America America is at stake. People talk about, how our economy is in bad shape and how government has gotten so big and how President Obama and his foreign policy have made us weaker as a country and less safe, and made our enemies respect us less and our allies not trust us as much. All of those things are true, and I would argue much more. But I think there's something bigger going on in America, something that's got people anxious and unnerved about our country and what we're going to give to the next generation. Yes, it's the debt. Yes, it's the economy. Yes, it's jobs. Yes, it's our culture and our families and our values. And yes, it's our security. But it's, to me, something more foundational. I always talk, my grandfather came to this country back in 1927. He left fascist Italy, Mussolini's Italy. He left a beautiful job on a lake just like this. A little hamlet, town at the foot of the Dolomite Mountains. One of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. And he left for one reason: freedom. He left because America offered something different than the country that he came from. Just like our founders left and came to America and sought something different. And when they established this country, they did establish something different than any other country in the history of the world. And they did it in that document that everybody unfortunately tends to ignore. We focus so much on the Constitution, the great document, so important. The Owner's Manual of America, the how-to of America. But the document that I'm referring to is the Declaration of Independence, signed in Philadelphia, my home state of Pennsylvania. And it had the why of America, who we are, what is the soul, what makes America exceptional. You hear this term, American exceptionalism. What's that mean? It's this phrase that I'm sure most of you know and have heard, but not sure you appreciate how transformative it was in the course of human history. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, among these life and liberty to pursue happiness. That phrase, that we are all equal. Why? Because God sees us as equal. And we all have rights given to us by God. Rights come directly from God to each and every person equally, because we are of equal value. Now you say, well, yes, of course, that's what America is all about. But yes, of course, no other country in the history of man before America was like that. Every other country, where did the rights go to? They went to the king, the queen, the sovereign. People were subjects of the king. They served the sovereign. The king would dole out royal titles and nobilities and rights and privileges because he held the rights. And our founders said, no, we are going to break away from that. No more emperors and kings. But every man, every woman would have the ability to have their rights, unalienable rights, protected by a government that is limited to do just that. One thing: protect your rights. And in so doing, our founders took this huge leap of faith, trusting ordinary, average Americans who they believed were inculcated with faith that would teach them virtue, that would put restraints on themselves so they could live in cooperation with their brothers and sisters and serve the God they loved, that dynamic would create a great civilization. And by God, they were right. We transformed the world because we believed in free people. We believed in building a great country from the bottom up. And we changed the world. I don't think we even realize in America how much America changed the world. Just a brief synopsis. At the time of Jesus Christ, to the time of the Revolution, we went from an economy that was an agrarian, hunter-gatherer economy to an agrarian, hunter-gatherer economy. 1,800 years, no change other than improvements in implements. We went from average life expectancy at the time of Jesus Christ to average life expectancy from 40 years of age to 40 years of age. Then America happened. It didn't happen in Africa. It didn't happen in the Muslim world. It didn't happen in Asia or China. It happened here. We went through not just one, but two revolutions. The Industrial Revolution, the Technology Revolution. We're probably in the middle of another one. We don't know what the name of it is. Because the scale of change is happening. Why? Free people who are allowed to reach for the stars and provide for themselves and their family and their community. Not only change the wealth and the economy of the world, but life expectancy doubled. The poorest person in America would match up with a quality of life and quality of health care and quality of food and nourishment and housing that kings would have 100 years ago. And we have a government now, in my opinion, a president who doesn't believe in that America. He said something that every one of you should know. When he was addressing Paul Ryan's budget, he was talking about all these government programs: Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid, unemployment insurance, welfare. And he said this: America is a better country because of these commitments. I'll go one step further, he said. America was not a great country until these commitments. We have a president of the United States that does not believe that America was born a great country. We have a president who can look at the dynamic change that America brought to the world and say, it is government that makes America great. It is government being the sovereign, telling you what rights you are going to have. When the President of the United States says you have the right to health care, what's he telling you? He has the right to take away your health. Because if he has the right to give it, he has the power to take it away. If he's going to say to you, we're going to give you all this health care, all he's doing, ladies and gentlemen, is hooking up an IV to you. And he's administering a drug, a subtle narcotic, to make you addicted. How do I know that? 5 days after President Obama decided to ram through Obamacare, I was in the green room at Fox with Juan Williams. And I said to Juan, what are you guys doing? You guys are crazy. The president's going to lose the election. He said, well, let me tell you what my friends are telling me at the White House. And he said this. He said, we believe Americans love entitlements. And once we get them hooked on this entitlement, they will never let it go. That's how he sees you and you and you. Does he care about you? No. He wants to exert power and influence because he knows better. The smart people, the planners in Washington know better how to run your life. Ultimately, this election is about whether America, this country, this generation, will pass on to the next generation a free America. If Obamacare is implemented, and it will be, if this president's reelected, if Obamacare is implemented, you will be the generation, all of us will be the generation that lost the heart, the soul, the success, the key to American greatness. And we will have done so without raising a sword. We will have done so because we listened to the siren song of someone telling us, please come, we can take care of you. We love you more. We care for you more. We can do this better for you. Don't trust yourself. You here in Iowa have a special obligation because the people of Iowa gave us this president. And now it's up to the people of Iowa to give us the antidote to this president. I'm here because I believe I have the experience, the record, the consistency of conservative opinion over a course of my political career. I have the ideas, and importantly, as I laid out, I have the vision to lay out to the American public to remind us who we are. Reagan's greatness was not about his policies. It was about his purpose. It was about reminding us of our purpose, of all of us in our generation, to do our duty, to serve this country, to leave it better. If we re-elect this president, we will have failed in our duty. That's why I'm out. I've got 7 children, ages 20 to 3. You've seen their picture in the brochure. My little girl, 3 years old with a disability that's a miracle. She's a miracle to be alive. And I'm out on the road 6, 7 days a week because I want to make sure that my children have the same opportunities that I have. I hope you feel the same way. I hope that's why you're here. I would love your support. I'd love your help. There's no one that will work any harder. As I said, this is my 21st visit here. I'll be back next week. I'll see you. If you're down in the central part of the state, I'll see you at one of the 3 or 4 parades I'm going to be marching in on 4th of July. I'll be out working, meeting Iowans, giving you the opportunity to talk to me, which I'm going to stop right now and give you the chance to do, and take whatever questions you have. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'd like to make a statement first. When you talk about Obamacare, I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, Christmas Eve morning, and I watch our